Victorians are being warned aftershocks could continue for several weeks after its largest earthquake. The effects were felt in New South Wales, the ACT, South Australia and Tasmania as well. Joining me live now is Betty's Burgers Managing Director Troy McDonough, whose restaurant suffered severe damage in yesterday's quake. Troy, good to see. It's nice to see you've got a smile on your face too, by the way. Betty's Burgers, it's the best burger joint in Australia, I've got to say. It's definitely my favourite. It's the original with cheese, with bacon.
Love that, buddy. Thank you so much.
Chips, that aioli that you do as well.
Thanks for having me.
My God, I'm getting hungry as we speak.
Keep going.
Yeah. I'm getting one after work, although they're not open at the moment. Anyway, Troy, first of all, just an assessment of the damage that you've got there this morning, if you wouldn't mind telling us about.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Thanks for having me this morning. Look, you can see behind, we've obviously there's been a fair bit of clean-up over the night. When we got here yesterday and arrived on site, it was, sort of equated it to a bit of a war zone, lots of debris. The engineers have been in overnight, and hopefully today we'll start to get a bit of an idea about the extent of the damage and timeframes about when we can likely reopen.
And when do you think that will be?
Look, early indications is it could be a number of months. So there's fairly extensive damage to the building itself. We haven't been able to get inside to assess internally yet, so hopefully we can do that over the next day or two, and then we'll start to understand the timeframes from there. But look, I suppose that, what I've been sort of saying from yesterday is that you look behind, you look at yesterday, none of our team were inside, which is so fortunate. There was no guests around the outside of our restaurant. No one got hurt. So, yeah, there's damage to the building. Our beautiful business here at Windsor is not trading, but, we can rebuild and we can do that once we know the plan.
It's probably lucky then, and you don't hear this too many times, do you, Troy? It's lucky that we were in lockdown then.
Mate, look, there is positives, right? And I think we've all got to... I'm kind of the sort of person, and I sort of impart this to my team at Betty's, is that, we've got to be optimists. We're in hospitality, and, yesterday in lockdown, if it wasn't, there would have been people across the street sitting around our restaurant, and there could have been, injury to people, and that's the last thing any of us wanted.
Where were you, Troy, when the tremors erupted?
Yeah, so we were opening another restaurant in Elsternwick, not too far from here. So the team were down there getting ready and preparing. We felt the shock. It was a bit weird. Obviously, we all experienced that ourselves. The phone started pinging, the photos started coming, and I raced down here in about 10 minutes. And obviously, the street had been blocked off and all the carnage that surrounded. So yeah, we got here pretty quickly. And main thing on the way was we understood none of our team had started their day, which was unbelievable. So thank you that no one was hurt and no guests around it. So yeah, that's what happened, Pete.
I've been in a couple of tremors myself overseas and a couple of big ones too. And 5.9 is a reasonably large one. Just to explain the sensation, the feeling that you had when that was going on, and if you were scared too.
Yeah, look, it was almost. A weird feeling. I mean, I've never experienced it myself in my lifetime. And so, we're inside, the building was moving, and so it was almost over quickly, but, the building was shaking, the internals were shaking, and we're all looking at each other. We raced outside and obviously made sure that the surrounds were okay. And so, yeah, quite a surreal feeling, and obviously, one certainly we don't want to see again.
Sure. And just, the protest movement is taking up so much of the oxygen at the moment in Victoria. What's your response to that and the events of the last couple of days that you've seen?
Yeah, look, I think it's a bit of a... we've had 2 years of interesting times, and I think, hospitality has been rocked to its core. So what we try and do, and all I can do is what, my team at Betty's do, and what I try and do is lead from the front in a positive way. We are in hospitality. We've got a responsibility to people that are coming into our business and just changing their day in that moment, putting a smile on their face, and that's what we try and do. Yesterday was another setback. What's happening in the city here in Melbourne and surrounds, look, it's not for me to comment. It's just, You know, we're focused on what we're doing at Betty's to try and deliver, you know, a great hospitality experience. And we just want our dining rooms open. We want our restaurants to reopen. We've got a whole heap of young team members that are desperate and excited to return to work. And that's what we're focused on. And if we can get there over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, Pete, Victoria, New South Wales, ACT, all the lockdown states, we're just going to fly, you know, and that's what we all should be focused on. We should be positive, moving in that direction together.